Yo, Hoopalings, Hoopa here, and we all have our favorite Pokeball. I mean, I do. I don't know if you guys do or not, but I do. But which has the best design? Well, that's actually what this video is about. Now, before we get started, I'll be talking about Pokeballs that are obtainable in-game. So Pokeballs like the Dart Ball or the Clone Ball won't be included in this video. Also, event Pokeballs like the GS and Cherish Balls are also going to be excluded. Both are completely unobtainable through normal means, and the GS Ball isn't programmed as a normal Pokeball. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Starting off the list, we have the Safari Ball. I like this ball. It's a classic ball loved by everybody. The reason it's so low on this list is that it's only legitimately obtainable outside of the Safari Zone in certain games like Scarlet and Violet, and it's just too much of a pain to obtain. It's an overall cool design, but its availability holds it back a lot. Next up, we have the Sports Ball. This is literally just a Pokeball with an S on it. So, yeah. It also has less availability overall than the Safari Ball. The only reason it's above the Safari Ball is because it's the only orange Pokeball that is available to us, which adds a little bit better of a design, and it doesn't look like a child finger painted a Pokeball. So, yeah. Moving on, we have the Master Ball. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Why is the best Pokeball ever created so low on this list? Well, to put it simply, it looks like Wario's underwear stretched over a Pokeball. I can't unsee it, and now you can't either. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Next up is the Premier Ball. It's as plain and as boring as you would expect an unpainted Pokeball to be. There's quite literally nothing going for it. It's a Pokeball, it's just white. It's higher on this list because it's free when you buy 10 Pokeballs. If I had to pay money for this ball, it would be dead last. Being completely serious. Next up, we have the Dream Ball. This ball is in the same boat as the Safari Ball as far as availability goes, except it's even less available since it was released in Gen 5 as a gimmick Pokeball for the Dream World function. Overall, though, its design is a bit better than the others, being more unique in its coloration being pink and purple, so it's alright. It's better than the others. Now we have the Heal Ball, and it's an interesting Pokeball. I've heard people talk about how useless a Pokeball it is, but I don't think so. The ability to heal Pokemon upon capture is really good for Nuzlocke, which is really, I think, what this Pokeball's best use is for. Design-wise, it's overall not much different than the Dream Ball being pink. However, one thing that makes it stand out is the cream-colored lines on its face, and the indent that separates the top and the bottom halves of this ball come together to make an H symbol. I did notice, however, after looking more into it, the cream color shape is in the shape of a heart, which is really cool. Next is the Net Ball. Overall, it's a good design. It's creative enough to be passable, and the idea behind the design is cool. It's just not as cool as other Pokeballs on this list. Speaking of other Pokeballs on this list, let's move on to the Love Ball. And let's talk about this ball. Its design is very cute, being pink with heart-shaped patterns on it. When it comes to design, it's going to start getting a bit better starting from here, because like this ball, we are going to be getting more creative overall, though it's not a bad design. So, yeah. Now let's talk about the Friend Ball. It's a fairly unique Pokeball as far as designs go, being green with yellow and red accents on top. And I like how colorful it is, and I think more Pokeballs should be able to do that. I think that it just is on a whole nother level. Speaking of levels, let's talk about the Level Ball. I like this ball for a couple of reasons. One, it's the only Pokeball that is mainly yellow with black accents, unlike the Ultra Ball that is mainly black with a yellow H on it. And two, I like the overall cohesiveness of it. It doesn't look sloppy, nor does it look like somebody painted it over, like I previously mentioned with the Safari Ball. It does overall have a solid design. It's really cool. Now, before we move on, if you've made it this far into the video, how about you consider shadow punching that like button? And if you guys want to watch more videos like this, and my coverage of Pokemon Plaza, and the possible remakes that we may be getting, how about you break swipe that subscribe button and that notification bell? It helps me out a lot and lets me know that you guys want more content like this in the future. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Now let's talk about the Pokeball. What can I honestly say about this ball? It's the Pokeball, the item we use to start our journey, the ball that we get when we pick our very first partner. Design-wise, however, it is a very plain and boring design. Don't get me wrong, I love this Pokeball. There's a lot of nostalgia for it, even for me. But there are a lot more Pokeballs with a better design than this. It's higher on this list simply because of nostalgia factor. Speaking of nostalgia factor, let's talk about an older version of this Pokeball, the Pokeball from Pokemon Legends Arceus. This ball is in a similar boat to the original Pokeball. The only reason it's above it on this list is that it is a more primitive version of the Pokeball, and its more rustic look nudges it ahead of its modern counterpart. I just like more rustic ideas when it comes to these things. These Pokeballs were supposed to be originally made from apricorns, and the Pokeball from Pokemon Legends Arceus is made with apricorns, which is really, really cool. Next up, we have the Lure Ball. Yes, the Lure Ball. I like its overall design with its blue and red color scheme with yellow accents. Overall, it's a well-designed Pokeball. Also, it's got bonus points for Ash catching his Totodile in that Pokeball. Moving on, we have the Fastball. I do like this Pokeball because its design is loosely based off of Pikachu, with the yellow half spheres on the top half, with a lightning bolt on top that's designed to look like its tail, which is really, really cute and really fun. Also, Pikachu is known for its speed, fastball, fast Pokemon. It's a really smart design. It's really, really cool. Next up, we have the Heavy Ball. I love its design being mostly gray at the top with 2 blue orbs on each side. Very good design. It would be a higher on this list, except it looks like it would be very uncomfortable to hold. I'm not gonna lie. Next up is the Moon Ball. Overall, the design is good. I like how it's half black and half blue with a moon pattern on the front, given its name. I think it's a good design overall, and I think that we should have more Pokeballs like this. One that has a higher catch rate with Pokemon that evolve via stones, like the Firestone, for example, or the Leaf Stone, or even Water Stone, Thunderstone. That would all be really, really cool. Moving on, we have the Repeat Ball. And when it comes to the Repeat Ball, I just think its design is funny. It's just a Pokeball with a repeating pattern on it. Not a bad design, but not the best one. It's just really, really funny. Next, we have the Dive Ball. I love this Pokeball. It's blue, and my favorite color is blue. So yeah, if I was giving scores, it would get a solid 8 out of 10. There are much better blue Pokeballs out there, and they're coming up soon. Speaking of blue Pokeballs, let's talk about the Great Ball. I like its design overall. It's just like the Pokeball. It's a recognizable ball for many fans, and is an improvement over the original Pokeball. Not to mention those little red nubs on the end that seemingly shouldn't be there. They just look funny to me. So, overall, not a bad design. Speaking of the greatness of this Great Ball, let's go back in time for a little bit and talk about the Great Ball from Pokemon Legends Arceus. And to be honest, everything I said about PLA's Pokeball is the same thing I'm going to say about the Great Ball. The more rustic look compared to its modern counterpart nudges this ball slightly forward. Same can be said for the Ultra and Heavy Balls. Speaking of which, let's talk about the Gigaton Ball. I made a mistake confusing the Heavy Ball, Megaton, and Gigaton balls for the same thing. It wasn't until I was writing this script and looking at these Pokeballs that I noticed that the Gigaton Ball, design-wise, is completely different to the Heavy Ball and Megaton Ball, with having some amazing patterns. I love the patterns on it, showing that it's an upgraded version of its predecessor balls. Not to mention that it keeps the black aesthetic, which I absolutely love. The Gigaton Ball is probably one of my favorites from PLA overall. It just looks really cool. Unfortunately, I did make the same mistake with the next ball on this list, so let's stay on PLA for a bit longer and talk about the Jet Ball. And this is, as far as Pokeballs go that you can consistently use in PLA, it is my favorite. I love this Pokeball. Not only does it look cool with its sky blue paint and detailed white wing design, which looks incredible, let's be honest here. Like the Gigaton Ball, you can see the drastic improvements in its design from the Feather and Wing Ball. Overall, a really, really good design. I have used this Pokeball consistently in Legends Arceus. I love it oh so very much. It's the best obtainable Pokeball in that game. Moving on, we have the Dusk Ball. Now, I like the Dusk Ball. The black and green with the orange band around it makes for a great Halloween-themed Pokeball. Overall, a very good design Pokeball that I use very often, even now, especially to catch Pokemon that are Ghost type, Dark type, or something similar. However, there's one that is only high up on this list because of its availability, and that is the Park Ball. I do just think it's neat. It is a very strange Pokeball, not to be confused with the strange Pokeball, that's going to be later on in this list, to say the least. It's got a golden top, a blue band, and an orange button. It's very unique in a simplistic way, and I like that. And speaking of the strange ball, strange Pokeball, let's talk about the strange ball. There isn't a lot to say about this Pokeball, literally. Overall, though, its design is simple, but what puts it over the top for me is its more crystal-like coloring. It reminds me of the crystal Pokeball that Molly used in that Pokemon movie about Entei. Fun fact, I learned that Entei means Flame Emperor in Japanese, which is really, really cool. If I nicknamed legendary Pokemon, I would name Gouging Fire Flame Emperor. That would be amazing. You know what else is amazing? The Ultra Ball. Ah, yes, the humble Ultra Ball. The second best Pokeball overall in any Pokemon game. I like its black and yellow design, although I do wish they had kept its original name. Would make the H on top of it make more sense, because this Pokeball's original name was the Hyper Ball, which would make a little more sense because the Great Ball was known as the Super Ball, so you had the Pokeball, Super Ball, Hyper Ball. It would have made more sense for the... it just would, trust me. It's just weird having a yellow H on top of a Pokeball. And since we're talking about the Ultra Ball, let's talk about the Ultra Ball from Pokemon Legends Arceus. I don't really have anything else to say other than what I've said for the Pokeball and Ultra Ball variants. There's really nothing else to say about it. I do have a lot to say about the Quick Ball, though. I love this Pokeball. This Pokeball has gotten me out of so many situations and clutched shinies for me so many times that if I listed them all, this video would be a couple of hours long. But we're here to talk about the designs, and oh boy, do I love this one. Now, yellow is not my favorite color. In fact, I don't really like yellow at all. I mean, electric Pokemon look great in yellow, and I love Pikachu, but overall, I'm not a big fan of the color. However, this Pokeball is a major exception. I love the impactful design that portrays the quickness that gives it its name, which is really cool. I also like the combination of yellow and blue. Those two colors just work together, right? It just really, really works together. Next up, we have the Luxury Ball. And this ball is just beautiful. Its design just screams that it is made for rich people, and you know what? It is my go-to Pokeball 99% of the time. Its sleek black design with its red and yellow bands, it's just really, really cool. Not to mention the red band around the center that is outlined by silver. I love this ball. It is amazing. There is a Pokeball that nudged it out just a little bit, though, and that is the Beast Ball. The Beast Ball is what I was talking about when I said there are better blue Pokeballs out there, because this design is amazing. I really like this Pokeball. Its design overall is otherworldly, and it's supposed to be. It looks like an Ultra Wormhole and has a massive catch rate boost on Ultra Beasts. Overall, the design itself is just very good, and I don't really have any complaints about it. However, the one Pokeball that beat it out is the Pokeball that you can only obtain in Pokemon Legends Arceus and can only use it once. And that is what, in my opinion, is the best designed Pokeball overall. The Origin Ball. I only have 2 words for this ball. Red Chain. Spoilers for PLA if you haven't played or watched it. So, quick backstory. At the end of PLA, you get sent to capture Dialga or Palkia, While you catch both by the end of the game, you can only use the red chain on one of them. However, due to a miscalculation, the red chain breaks and you're tasked to go retrieve the pieces and create something secret, something new. And after finding those pieces, you'll obtain what is known as the Origin Ball. Now, I do consider this an event Pokeball. However, the reason that it's on this list while the other two are not is because unlike the Cherish Ball and the GS Ball, it's actually used to catch a Pokemon. Overall, its design is amazing. Not perfect, but a fantastic design. Its ruby-like appearance makes it the most unique out of all Pokeballs ever made. And it's just unfortunate that it turns into the Strange Ball when you transfer whatever legendary you caught with it. I love this Pokeball, and the fact that you use the red chain to capture it is just really, really, really cool. Not capture, make it. It's just really cool. Overall, I think this design is the closest thing to perfect you can get for catching a legendary Pokemon, right? It's just really, really, really cool. And the name Origin Ball? Oh my god. Yes. So, what do you guys think of the video? Do you agree with this list? Do you think that some Pokeballs need to be higher on the list or lower on the list? Let me know in the comment section down below. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Hoop out. Bye, guys.